John Lee Dumas. What's going on, man?
Hey, y'all. Just excited to be here with you on the mic, sharing some fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, brother. How's Kate doing? Everything good? Kate doing all right?
Kate's doing great. She's actually right through the wall right there doing her thing as well. We have
Grinding.
adjoining offices here, just kind of grinding it out, taking in the Puerto Rican sun when we can, getting that real vitamin D, like not that fake vitamin D you guys have,
That's
the,
right.
the
That's right.
real vitamin D.
Yeah, we're not quite low enough on toward the equator to get that real vitamin D. We got. That's why we stick it in our milk. We got that vitamin D reinforced milk, man.
And then it's funny, you got to like superimpose and then John died of skin cancer.
And then, right, exactly. He went too far. Too far. But yeah, I'm at my office right now. Jocelyn, of course, we're still under lockdown and stuff right now. But thank God we have two places to go because we come over here and get work done. She stays with the kids. We switch back and forth, and it's good to go, man. Well, listen, let's just jump into it, man. Let's talk about some memberships. A couple membership masters here talking about recurring revenue. Everybody knows you from Entrepreneur on Fire. Everybody knows you from eofire.com, the often imitated but never duplicated OG daily podcast back in the day. And but what people may not know, dude, is like you got a legit membership called Podcasters Paradise. And I've always been a big fan of this. And I actually crashed one of your Podcast Paradise parties one time. We'll talk about that. But tell everybody about Podcasters Paradise real quick and what it's all about.
Yeah, so, it really goes back to 2013. I'm running along the bay in San Diego. Life is good. The sun is shining. And I'm kind of like just going over my head, just kind of like, okay, the podcast is going well. Sponsorships are rocking. I was actually running a really great mastermind called Fire Nation Elite, which we have like 75 members in. And it was just really, everything was going well. But I'm like, what is like missing? Like, what is something that I keep hearing from my audience over and over again? Because this is the key. I'm always talking to my audience. What are you struggling with? What are your obstacles? What are your challenges? And some of them were being like, I just love sports and I'd love to start a podcast around sports. Or I love, gardening or ballet or fitness or fill in any of the blanks. They're like, and I'd love to share that voice with the world, but how do I even start? I'd always kind of point people to like, oh, here's this blog post here, or, here's this once kind of sketchy YouTube video there. But then as I was running along the bay, I was just like, why am I like directing people to crappy places when I've launched, over 250 episodes at that point already?
Yeah.
Now I'm over 2,500 little update alerts. And I was just like, why not just actually start a community around podcasting? And I'm looking around and I'm just like, man, I'm in paradise right now, running along the beach in San Diego. I'm like, paradise, podcasting, paradise. And I ran home. I'm like, Kate, we've got to launch a community. If nothing else, then I found an alliteration. Podcasters Paradise.
It's got two P's, baby. It's got two P's, man. We're in. We're all in for the alliteration. That's what I'm talking about.
Two P's. And you know what I did, though? I did this, and be interested for your feedback on it, is I said, you know what? This might not work. People actually, just because they say they want something doesn't mean they actually want something, or doesn't mean they'll actually pay for something. I'm not doing this for free. So I went out, I emailed my audience and I said, hey, a lot of people have been saying they want to share their voice, their message, their mission via a podcast. Kate and I are willing to create the podcasting community of podcasting communities. We're going to call it Podcasters Paradise because it's going to have all the video tutorials you need, all the templates you need, the community within a Facebook group. We're going to have everything you need to create, to launch, to grow, to monetize your podcast. But I'm not even lifting a pinky of work until you guys put your money where your mouth is and validate this. I go, so in 45 days from today, I will launch this course if I get at least 20 people to pay me $250. And by the way, you guys will be the early birds. You'll be able to help me build this over the next 45 days. Like I'll keep you updated and ask for your advice. And when I open it in 45 days, it's going to be $500 per membership, and it's never going lower. So you're getting 50% off by committing to it now, to it early. And Shane, that one email, we did 35 sales. So I was like, that almost doubled my minimum requirement, which was 20. We ended up with 35 people locking in $250 each to something that wasn't even, I hadn't done a minute of work for, just the email itself. But then Kate and I said, okay, this is validation. 45 days. We opened the doors as promised on October 31st, 2013. And as you and I are sitting here, 7 years later, almost 7 years later, like 6.5 years later, we've brought in over 6,000 members. We've done over $5 million in revenue. And Shane, like we're bringing in people every single day in the Podcaster's Paradise. And this has been, something we launched 6.5 years ago. So this membership thing, this has legs when you do it right.
Yeah, that's what we did almost the exact same process with Flip Lifestyle. Is when we started our podcast, but then we started guesting and we realized our list was growing and we started getting those questions like, wow, you guys, how do I do that? You know what I mean? And we did the same thing. We're like, hey, here's a course. We think it's going to look like this, right? Here's the outline, but it's probably going to change because you're going to tell us what to do, right? And we launched our course, and then we immediately realized that people loved being together, right? Like they loved the group calls. They loved being having some kind of access to me and Jocelyn, right? Even if it was just a Q&A once a month or something like that. And we just, same thing, pre-launched. Every membership should pre-launch. You should never do anything until someone votes with their wallet, because a survey where you can click a little button and you're sitting in your PJs.
Oh, I would do that.
Easy. I do. That sounds great.
Would do that.
But when it's time to put the money on it,
they're just like, oh, me. I was actually like thinking like, my friend down the street.
Yeah, not me.
In 5 years.
Oh, wait, it takes a little work and I have to invest my money. Oh, come on now. We can't do that. So you had this, and it's funny how I almost see this always work this way. We have a saying, we say people come for your courses, but they stay for the people. They stay for leadership. They stay for community, and they stay for things like that. So you launched this product. Like, what made you, did you always plan on eventually it was going to be this monthly recurring thing? You just needed that first group in to get the courses and the content right. And then you were going to build a community around Podcast Paradise. Because I remember when you kind of started this thing. Like I saw your old apartment in San Diego. I actually got to sit there one night. Beautiful. I can picture you running down the beach, stopping and turning around and texting.
That's where I was running, right?
You know
there,
what I'm saying?
right
like
below.
right down the bay. But like you're coming back. And like, did you have it in mind that it would become a community where people would pay you monthly? Because I love what you said there about 6,000 members. Like, memberships do have legs, man. You can give yourself a raise every day if you want to. If you just sell it, listen, you sell 5 memberships tomorrow at $100 a month, you just got a $500 raise. And yes, month. People, a month. And if people do stay, right, a long time, but each membership has its own journey, and you may take them somewhere else when they're done. But only a few people will ever leave in any given month, and you just have to replace those and keep moving, and your membership grows. Did you always envision it as this big community, or was it going to be more course driven and you realized, man, podcasters like to hang out together?
It was a little bit of like, hey, let's just get this out in the world. Once the concept has been proven and once people have voted with their wallets, let's get this out in the world, and then let's kind of figure things out. So I think like after we launched back in 2013, like officially, it was like $500 gave you a lifetime membership. So there was no monthly recurring. Because, we did, I think, initially think at first that people were going to come for the trainings, come for the tutorials, come for the templates. And like every now and then just kind of like ask us questions in the Facebook group and yada, yada, yada. But then we did have this survey, maybe like 3 or 4 months in, where we put questions like, what is your favorite thing about Podcasters Paradise? It was the videos, the templates, the monthly webinars that we do. Like, what do you like most about Podcasters Paradise? And of course, I didn't say of course, because I think this is something that people don't do, but luckily we left the other open as well. And one person, there's always one clever person, chose other, and he wrote, came for the tutorials, stayed for the community. And it was at that point.
Gold, baby. Gold.
Everybody voted for that one. Like, like the first like 20 people like voted for the ones that we put. When that person like wrote that line, every person after him voted for that hands down. We're like, whoa. Okay, we need to like double down and like think, how can we make this community even more of a family, more of a community feel, but B, this is going to be a lot more recurring work for us. So how do we now add a recurring component to that lifetime membership? So, and then we kind of did a shift where it was like, okay, you can either have an option of, paying, for 12 months. And at the end of 12 months, like you've hit your lifetime cap, and like you get for the rest of your life for free, or you can just pay a bigger chunk up front. I think we even raised it at one point to like $1,500, and like $1,500 will get you lifetime access from day one going forward. And we had that going for a while, and that worked. And there's some pros to that, Shane, if I'm going to be honest.
Hey, listen, those lifetime members, we had a lady last week, she's a Membership Masters subscriber to my newsletter. We did a lifetime promotion back in February of 2020, right? I thought it was
recent.
Yeah, very recent, because we rotate our promotions. We'll do lifetime, annuals, quarterlies, whatever. But like, she did this promotion and she made $47,000 off of her lifetime offer on one hit to a list of about 2,000 people. So she killed it financially. But here's what came of that over the next 2 months. She said, my community has never been more alive because these people are all in. So lifetime offers not only give you good influxes of cash, but man, they build like an anchor, like a core crew inside of your membership that are probably going to buy everything else that you ever sell. So I love a good lifetime offer. Love a good offer.
And there's another thing to it too that I'll add on top of that you just share, which is so true, and we've experienced the exact same thing. We also had a thing where like people that did a monthly to like a 12-month payout, they'll get to like month 8 or 9, and they'll email us to be like, hey, how many payments do I have left? And they're like kind of counting down, and then like they'll hit, hey, yay, that was like my last payment. They were so excited. And like, I know for a fact that if some of those people, a decent percentage of them, in fact, if they were just on a recurring monthly, every single month, that like they didn't have anything to kind of like build up to, they would have been out. They would have been gone. Not all of them, but some of them would have been. So there's some pros and there's some cons to everything you do in life. Now, full transparency, a couple of years ago, we completely did shift to the fully recurring model, where now, if you want to join Paradise, you have 2 options: $97 per month, and that's just ongoing, or $997 per year. So again, you get a couple $100 off if you pay up front for the year, because those are always going to be your best members, are people that commit up front and they're there for the year. And number 2, I know that it's so true that those $997 members are so valuable that we add a couple of bonuses as well. Like they get a 15-minute strategy call with me, which is a very valuable 15 minutes.
For sure.
They actually get a $600 value intro and outro for their podcast. So like, we're talking like a professional intro, a professional outro by like a team that we've used for years. It's an amazing quality. So they get that to go with their annual. So we get a lot of people choosing the annual route because we kind of make it a no-brainer that way. So we're still kind of going for those like people that are in it, not just like testing the waters as much. But, I love my $97 a month members too, because like you said, it's just like this nice solid every single day, we're getting our, merchant account reports of like 50, 60, 70 people, have paid monthly. And on that one day, it's like, boom, that's a big influx of consistent cash.
It is nice to wake up. I love, it's so crazy how when you wake up and before you make a cup of coffee, all those recurring billings go through at like midnight. You know what I'm saying? And you just wake up and you're like, it takes all the pressure off of you when you're a membership owner, because all that money comes in. And now you just get to be creative and think about how you can reach more people with your message and help more people with your membership. And you can actually be free to go out and serve people instead of, oh my gosh, am I going to make a sale today and live launch to launch and all of those things. And I like how you added a service to the annual plan. Like that's brilliant, because that's something super tangible that people can actually feel because they get it. Like you make the thing and they get it. When did you start doing that? Was that recent?
No, it's about 2 years ago. So,
wow.
We committed to doing like the recurring thing about 2 years ago. We took away the lifetime. And that was, by the way, and that's kind of one reason why I liked starting with lifetime, because we did a huge promotion as we were closing our lifetime off and then making the shift into lifetime no more, just recurring going forward. And we brought in, hundreds and hundreds of people who just like snuck in under the wire to get into lifetime. We had a multiple 6-figure, switch into recurring. So that was a very,
and you can invest that into building out the infrastructure of your membership and serving your members and all those things. Does this mean I'm looking at your sales page. I want to actually pull this up here in a minute and look at it, because you got a really good sales page, bro. This is a good sales page. I love me some copy. I'll sit here and I'll probably look at this for the next hour. But like does Podcasters Paradise ascend anywhere? Like the Flip Your Life community is designed to help people start, build, and grow their own membership site and get from 0 to 100 members. Because if you get 100 members paying $50 a month, you make 60 grand a year. You can quit your job. You can take care of your family. So that's the mission of the Flip Lifestyle community. But the what we found was the next question. People said, if I just knew how to market my membership, I think I could not only make a living, I think I can make a fortune. So that's where Membership Masters came from. We take people through monthly into it. We have a calendar that we send out that's all for marketing, right? So that's our next level ascension subscription, right? We take them there, and people who are really big time membership owners in the Membership Masters subscription, we have a thing called the $1 million membership funnel, right? And that's where we take them to next. And that's like a 8-week training with me. You know what I'm saying? It's live. So like, do you ascend anyone from Podcasters Paradise into coaching or other products or services, or do you just say, nope, let's just get as many people in Podcasters Paradise as possible?
So I'm a massive believer in ascension models. I think that they're brilliant. And I feel like what you just described is like an incredible example of what it would take to get people in, you know, at a high value, but decent price point, and then ascend the right people up, you know, continuing, because you're always going to have that percentage of people who just want more. So like what you have is like a great structure, something I definitely think people should be looking to implement. We have that with like our traditional business, but like with Podcasters Paradise specifically, this is kind of how I look at it more, is like we have our community of podcasters. I offer a few like ascension opportunities for people. Like I do what's called like a day with JLD. That's $10,000. It's one day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. down here in Puerto Rico. You can see we're in my pool right behind me. We're hanging out. We're talking business. We're talking life. We're talking podcasting. It's only available to people in Podcasters Paradise. Like that is only available. We do what's called Puerto Palooza every year, which is down here in Puerto Rico, again, in my home, $7,500 per person. 7 people for 3 days, 2 days of business, 1 day of fun. We usually like charter a yacht and go out to the islands right behind me there. And that's the focus there. So we ascend people on a kind of a more individual basis.
I dig it.
On that. And that's kind of how we approach that. But like, I love the more structured way that you have. I just don't right now like have any desire to build that out for what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I think it's brilliant. And I think people should definitely be saying, like, how can I model what Shane's doing?
Well, I'm interviewing tomorrow. I'm interviewing Robbie Kellerman Baxter, who wrote The Membership Economy, which is the book that probably I was on an airplane coming back from the Philippines, actually, when we were at Ducker's event.
Tropical think tank,
baby, old school. And that was before he went back to England. And but that book really like slammed the door home on me. She used a term in it called the forever transaction, right? And when we started Flip Life, you can't do 2 things at once. Like we had to build the Flip Your Life community for 5 years before we knew what it would look like, right? Before we knew retention and we knew churn and we knew what's the average number of months people stay at different price points. Like it takes a lot of testing to figure all that stuff out. And what we tried to do when we built the newsletter subscription was, one, what's the question that all of our members ask us? Not all of our followers. What are our members asking us? And the thing we always got was, if someone would just tell me how to market this thing every day. Like I've got a membership, it's working, but I don't know how to get attention. And then I don't know how to convert intention into conversions, right? And so that was the next question that people asked. And
send them to paradise, brother.
That's right, baby. and like, so I got the alliteration going too, baby. I got the double M.
Yeah, you
Membership
do.
Masters, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I pay. Listen, this alliteration cost me a few $1,000s to buy the domain name. I promise you that.
I can believe it.
Guarantee it. So like, but like we looked for that ascension subscription, I guess, is where we tried to go, because we really do want more subscriptions. That's what we want. We want those raises every day. But there's still, I love the concept of meeting people live, because that's where you really get the heartbeat of your community. Like I bet not only are those days with JLD in your house so valuable for the people, but they're probably just valuable for you to kind of like we're in person. We're reconnecting.
You got to keep your finger on the pulse.
Yeah,
like,
man.
The people who I've seen who, by the way, have like kind of dipped out and then had to come back in, like, Tim Ferriss, great guy, great dude, crushed it, in 2008 with, 4-hour work week. But the reality is he kind of disappeared for a few years and was kind of off the radar for a little bit. And it wasn't really till he came back and launched his podcast that his finger was really back on the pulse. And he really started kind of like taking things to the next level. Because if you're, not willing to do what you're saying, which is like be in person, be live, ask the questions, engage, and live, Facebook groups, whatever we can do now, by doing Facebook Lives. Like Kate and I have stepped up how many times we're going live in our Paradise group and our other communities. Like we have a journal Facebook group as well for, my 3 published journals and all that stuff. So how can we kind of continue to keep our finger on the pulse, asking those questions? Like, what is your biggest struggle, obstacle, and challenge right now so that we can know what that next step for us is?
I'll tell you an email subject line that we use with our members all the time. We actually have it in our automation. It's an open email. This email actually replies back to my inbox too. It does not go to like Zendesk or anything else. And all it says is, what's frustrating you? And when I added that word frustrating, boy, it opened the floodgates for people to hit reply. I don't know why that was different with how can I help you,
right,
or what's wrong. But when I don't remember, I heard someone else, or I got an email that said, what's frustrating you?
And you're like, I'm opening that.
I was like, I am frustrated. I am frustrated. I'm going to tell you why I'm frustrated. And I said, when I did that, I was actually typing my reply to the dude who sent it to me. And I was like, this is a good email. I'm going to steal this. And so I sent it out, man. And lo and behold, it was so good. It's now like the 3rd email in our sales sequence.
Welcome sequence, yeah.
And it comes back to me because I want to know. Not just so I can reply to as many of them as I can, but man, like when you feel what your people are actually thinking and they're talking to you, it's just a different ballgame. And doing it in person, there was 2 events that inspired me and Jocelyn to start doing live events. One, we went to Podcast Movement, and you were having in Chicago, and you were having, I think it was a Podcasters Paradise meetup, maybe.
Yeah, every year we do it.
Yeah, at the top of a hotel or something. And I sent you a message, and I said, are you going to Podcast Movement? You're like, yes, we're having a party. You guys should stop by.
I said, I am Podcast Movement, I think was my response.
That's probably what you said.
Come on.
Had you moved to I think you had just bought your house in Puerto Rico.
It could have. Yeah. I think that was about 4 years ago.
I don't remember. But like, so I go up there and I see that you've got like all these people packed in this room. Right. And I see all this energy and everybody's talking to each other, and you and Kate were handing out T-shirts or something, being party hosts and all this stuff. Yeah. And I was like, man, Jocelyn, wouldn't that be amazing if our community could get together like this? And then I went to Rich Brooks's Agents of Change event, which
Maine.
is up in Maine. And that's a really small, like intimate event, which I like a lot better than like big 5,000 person people.
Yeah. And I like the one track events too.
Yeah. Everybody show up, listen to the next person. We're all together in this kind of deal. And that's what inspired me. I was like, we've got to do live events. And we started doing Flip Your Life Live and started meeting with our people. And man, I don't know if anyone at the live events for our community has ever told me anything specifically like that changed the way we did anything, but it's just feeling it and seeing how they interact with each other. And your mind starts connecting in different ways on how to build that community, because people will not leave their friends. I tell anybody starting a membership, if you ever take anything that I say, make them make friends with each other. Don't just let them follow you. They will get tired of you. People get tired of my mouth all the time. I talk too much, but people will not get tired of hanging out with their friends, man. And if you can facilitate that, bro, like, do you facilitate that? Do you do member calls inside of Podcasters Paradise?
We don't, but
you got a Facebook group though, right?
Yeah. Every single time that we've had like that kind of get together that you're talking about, I always am encouraging small roundtables. Like I love those small roundtable breakouts where it's just like, and as a host, like it literally is taking all the pressure off you too. Cause it's just like, you don't have to be up there the whole time, and you shouldn't be up there the whole time. Just like, running your mouth off about X, Y, and Z. It's like, yes, you are an authority figure. Yes, you are an influencer. Yes, people are there potentially drawn because of you to be there in that moment. But now, you share your knowledge, you share your fire, you share your genius. Part of that is also facilitating, hey, how can we have these small breakout groups where people can really connect with each other and feel like they're being heard too? Because like if you have, like we had 45 people here in the fall to a small event, but I mean, like it was like a little mastermind that we had here in Puerto Rico. and 45 people came down. It was like, not every single person that when there's 45 people in a room can have their voice be heard in like a really constructive way without that being like the entire day. But when you break out into like, say, 4 groups of 10 people, now all of a sudden you have every single individual over the course of like 20 or 30 minutes is able to like have their voice be heard as they're sharing something that you're encouraging and instructing them to share. And now when people's voices are heard, they're in the moment. Now they connect with each other in this powerful way. And like you said,
and they still feel like they're connecting with you though. Like that's the beauty of it. They still feel
like they're connecting
because they're heard by someone. That's all people want. I love it. I love what you say. Because so many of us are like, listen to me. I have a podcast. Listen to me.
Yes. This is my event.
This is my event.
All the attention right here.
Look. And then it's like, no, we're here to listen to you. I knew that here's how I knew that we had successfully built community. So our second, we do have a live event for 100 people in every year in the South, somewhere in the South. It's called Flip Your Life Live. The first year in 2018, we had a working dinner. So the day one we taught and then we implemented at night and we all just stayed up from like 7 to 12, right? And everybody was in one big room working together at little tables. It was all good. Jocelyn and I walk in 2018 and we get mobbed. Like everyone wants to talk to us and some people got a little upset because they didn't get to talk to us. And I was like, okay, that's not how this should feel, right? So we did some things we changed in the community. We had more like Zoom calls where people could meet each other. We had more smaller type little roundtable events on Zoom and things like that. And we really worked harder on community, right, over the next year. We go to 2019 and we have Flip Your Life Live. Same thing. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. Everybody's there. Everybody's packed. They're in the working dinner. Me and Jocelyn go up to our room, eat and change. We come down. I walk in. Nobody knew I was even there. It was like I'd never been there. Like I walked in and it was like nobody even looked up and what we had done differently too. The way we built community is we raised up leaders in our community. We started highlighting people and saying like, this person is an amazing member and they're an expert in this. This person's an expert in this. And those people were there and we made them table leaders. And as we raised up these people, these success stories, and we put them in like almost like deacons at church, right? They have their own little tables and their own little thing. And it was incredible because like dude, I stood there for 25 minutes. I was kind of like, dang, maybe I'm not as big a deal as I think I am. And I stood over there, but it was awesome because everyone got so much more value. The reviews to a T were like the working dinner was the greatest thing of the whole event. And it was because they had that community and they were like talking to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody nudges you. They're like, yo, are you here for this event right here?
Yeah, right.
Like, are you here? I am this.
It's my event. It's my event. What are you talking about? All right, let me, I'm going to do this real quick. I want to look at your sales page real quick because this goes out on YouTube too, but we can kind of talk through it. I'm going to share my screen. And I just want to ask you a couple quick questions. I know you got another appointment very soon. I want to be respectful of your time, but let me share this. And all right, hit share. I think I did the right one. All right, yep. You got it? All right, so let's just kind of walk through this here for about 5 minutes and just kind of look at this. And I noticed right away that there's no pictures above the fold or anything. It does say join John Lee Dumas. I think that's good because your brand is so strong. You know what I'm saying? Your name in the podcast world. Mm-hmm. But like, why the decision to just be super, super simple up here?
Yeah, we really realized that if people take that podcast masterclass, like the likelihood of them joining Podcasters Paradise is really through the roof. So
is that a lead magnet? What you're talking about there, like an opt-in
it's an
thing?
Actual recorded webinar. So like You can right there, you click on that, it says claim my spot. You can literally register right there for one of our podcast masterclasses, like a podcast presentation, a webinar that starts off with it's a video of me. Like actually, you can actually watch the masterclass like right now. Like that's what the masterclass is about. That's what it's going to cover, et cetera.
So that's kind of counterintuitive to most sales pages because they say don't put any buttons that don't go to the sales page. Right. No, let's get them to the webinar, man, and then sell them after, right?
Totally. Because listen, they come here to this page right here. Like they need a little more warming up. They need a little more intel. They need a little more info. And they need, honestly, like to know, like, and trust myself and Kate. So this masterclass itself starts with a video of me. Like I'm actually on video, like introducing myself and my brand and what I'm doing and all these different things. So this is kind of like the first introduction we want for people. And of course, when they do this, Shane, what are they also doing? They're giving me their email address. So I'm capturing a high percentage of email, which they then go into our Podcasters Paradise email sequence.
This Q&A thing that pops up right here, does that go to like a Zendesk ticket or something? Just so exactly. I got you. So that's not live chat, but it's email.
We do have a lot of people. We do have people that do man that live as well, like during kind of like more typical working hours.
So okay, so that's fascinating. I might steal that. Love that. That's amazing.
Hey, at least test it. Do an optimize.
Bro, I mean, seriously, what do you got to lose? I love though that you, even with that webinar, some people are ready and they're just flippers. They're just scrollers, and you've got a little shorter video here that kind of rolls into the benefits, right? Goes into what's going on in the thing.
It shares exactly what Paradise is. It actually even kind of gives you a little virtual walkthrough of Paradise.
Yep. And the price points here, this is really interesting. So I love $97.997. That's just classic. Hey man, 2 months free, bro. Why not save some money?
2 months free. Let's do it.
So when you do these, when you were picking these benefits, like the podcast journal, that's a print journal that you actually mail to someone, correct?
Yes, it's a physical journle.
Yeah, what we learned too from Membership Masters is people love getting mail. I mean, gosh, the lifetime value of those members who get that mailed stuff. We're actually going to add a mailed component to Flip Your Life too.
You need to. So the word is reciprocity, because now they are almost like, wow, I've just been gifted this journal, which, cost me around $10 to get to them. But, now they're not refunding $97 because of a $10 gift.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. So that's a big deal, getting something to them. Didn't you one time mail cookies to people or something?
Yeah, brownies.
What was that? Were you was it anybody that bought you sent like an actual cookie or a brownie to or something?
Yeah,
I remember you
they
talking
got a brownie.
About that.
Yeah, they got a brownie. They got like an actual postcard as well. It was
that's amazing. Can I send a brownie with my journal? And then the 30-day money back guarantee. I love that too. Like what is your refund rate on that? Like, do you get
month over month, we're between 6 to 8%.
That's gorgeous. Yeah. So think about that. 94% of people took the plunge because they had the guarantee, but so many people get stuck on the 6%. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just ridiculous. And then one other thing I wanted to ask you about here. People always ask about how many testimonials to put on the sales page. I love you've only got like 3 down here. Like, is that what you found? Just a sweet spot? You got enough people? Like, people try to put like 100 testimonials on their sales pages.
Yeah, to me, it's potentially overwhelming. I feel like if someone sees 100, they choose 0. If someone sees a couple, they might actually take a second to read them. I mean, this has actually been a big study in supermarkets as well. Like, when you come up and there's a display with 50 different options, you choose 0. But when there's a display with 3 options, people choose 1. And so I always am thinking let's not overwhelm people. Let's not have people think, oh my God, I probably need to watch all of these video testimonials before I buy. And now they just go away and never come back. I just want to keep things simple, keep it clean. They're great testimonials. They're there. They're enough.
Love it, man. Well, listen, buddy, I appreciate you, man, for coming on and talking to the Membership Masters audience today, man. And, when I was putting this together, I told you off air, man, I know a Membership Master. My boy John down in Puerto Rico.
Woo!
He's got Podcast in Paradise. We got to talk about that.
An alliteration master.
An alliteration master, dude. Awesome, dude. All right, so tell everybody where you would like them to reach out to you to find you guys online before we close.
Yeah, just real quick, check out Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's a great podcast. Shane has been an amazing guest, and over 2,500 others have as well at this point. It's definitely my main focus. eofire.com is our website where we have a ton of free courses, but specifically, since we're talking about podcasting, if you want to see one of the best funnels ever, go to freepodcastcourse.com. Take a completely free, high-quality course on how to create and launch your podcast. And I dare you not to join Paradise by the end.
Love it, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you.
Take care, brother. Great chatting.
All right, guys, that wraps up my amazing chat with my boy, John Lee Dumas. We will put all of the links that we just talked about in the show notes of today's Membership Masters podcast show notes. And if you would like to become a Membership Master yourself, all you have to do is go to membershipmasters.com, membershipmasters.com, and you can learn how to subscribe to the Membership Masters newsletter. It is the #1 top shelf membership marketing newsletter on the planet. I give you tips every month on how to improve your membership sales funnel, tips to retain members and keep them longer than you ever had before. And of course, the world famous Membership Masters newsletter, daily membership marketing calendar. I tell you what to do every single day of the month so that you can give yourself a raise every day, so you can get and keep more members right now in your online membership. All you have to do is go to membership membershipmasters.com, and you can download a free issue right now. And heck, I'll even send you a print copy for free. All we need you to do is cover a little bit of shipping. So that's membershipmasters.com. We can help you get and keep more members this month. You can log in right now to the members only area in Membership Masters and learn how to keep more members, get more members, onboard your members, retain more members, and of course, go out and create those amazing membership marketing promotions. That's all the time we got for this week, guys. I will see you next time.